outwork or out-hustle a Pat Burns-coached team. The gritty Maple Leafs last season surprised hockey experts, coming within one game of the Stanley Cup Finals, relying on team defense. Their offense was fueled by record-setting center Doug Gilmour, one of the game's most tenacious talents, who won the Selke Award. Mix in the captaincy of Wendell Clark and his leadership, and the power play scoring of Dave Anderchuk, and these Leafs are for real. Last spring, the Red Wings were heavy favorites to bounce Toronto from postseason play. But it was the Maple Leafs with 2 overtime victories, including one in Game 7, that sent Detroit to the links early. Scotty Bowman, the NHL's all-time win leader, is now behind the bench. But the Red Wings have been off the mark. Tonight, they take their frustrations out on the Leafs. Could be both. A World Series championship and a Stanley Cup here in Toronto. This is Maple Leaf Gardens, where tonight, the 4th oldest rivalry in terms of games played, they go at it again. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and welcome. Last season, these teams went 7 in the playoffs against one another. That might be the story tonight, but Bill, there are other things on the table.
Gary, under different circumstances, I would expect that rivalry from that bitter series last year to carry over, but the circumstances for the Detroit Red Wings are something like this. They're asking themselves a big question. When are we going to start playing like an NHL team? 2 nights ago, they lost to St. Louis. After the game, Dino Ciccarelli said we were out of sync, and defenseman Steve Chason was a little more blunt. He said, on the ice, it was chaotic. So first, their new coach, Scotty Bowman, is trying to pull them together. We know that there's a chaotic situation surrounding the Detroit Red Wings. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, they got the same lineup as last year. They are undefeated, their best start since 1944. So the question mark for this hockey game surrounds the Detroit Red Wings, not the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto doing as well as they are. Why change things for Detroit? What will they change tonight? For Paul Coffey, last season, a disappointing year in the playoffs.
Anyway, they were a much better hockey club. I mean, you have to respect them. I mean, they found a way to win. They got a lot of good hockey out of a lot of players, and I mean, they're feared in my book for sure.
Charity since 1989. Mario Lemieux captured this year's Alka-Seltzer Plus Award. Presenting the award to Mario is Alka-Seltzer Plus representative Barry Somerville.
Congratulations, Mario, on winning the Alka-Seltzer Plus Award.
Thank you for the award. Thank you for the $5,000, which I will donate to the Pittsburgh Cancer Institute. Thank you.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to National Hockey Night, ESPN's coverage of the NHL. I'm Steve Levy. Detroit and Toronto, the game you will see. Toronto off to 4-0 start, their best start in about 50 years, and they've used the exact same lineup in all 4 games. Why make a change? Elsewhere, 3 other games around the NHL tonight. The Rangers are in Buffalo. New York's power play clicking at 52%. The Caps still looking for their first win. Boston and Anaheim, 4th of a 5-game homestand to open up for the Mighty Ducks. And my partner on the blue line, as always, is Jim Schoenfeld. No Los Angeles, no Pittsburgh. That means no Gretzky, no Lemieux. Still plenty of other stars to watch tonight.
Yeah, Steve, a couple of years ago, the league was worried, quite concerned that they only had 2 marketable stars in the players you just mentioned. But if you look at the games tonight, there are stars shining all around in the National Hockey League. And we'll start in New York with Brian Leetch. He's resurrected the New York Rangers. Here he is waltzing through the Philadelphia Flyers single-handedly. He is the rocket fuel that has the Ranger power play soaring. And in Philadelphia, Eric Lindros is playing with a renewed intensity and commitment. And he appears willing to accept the responsibility that comes along with greatness. For the Buffalo Sabres, speedy Pat LaFontaine. He does it all. He has the speed, stick handling, and scoring touch that is terrorizing National League goaltenders. Watch him change direction right here against the Boston Bruins. And LaFontaine will be that much better once he gets his line mate back, Alexander McGillney.
All right, Shawnee, we'll see you after the first period. All sorts of highlights and a feature on the NHL and late hits. Detroit-Toronto will drop the puck in Maple Leaf Gardens right after this.
Welcome back to Toronto, everybody. Just underway, Detroit and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Detroit trying to get out of the losing streak. They are in, and they'll have to do it with a rookie goaltender playing in his first game, so they don't want the puck in their end tonight. They'll try and keep the offensive heat on. Probert trying to center. Probert with McCarty. Dumped to center. Maple Leafs on the attack here at home. Near side, Andrechuk could not handle it. Played in behind the net, Steve Chason. Chason working on defense with Terry Cartner, the defensive pairing. Near side intended for McCarty. He had already gone by. Gilmore can't handle it. The rookie hits the puck for the first time in his NHL career.
Scotty Bowman of the Red Wings decided to start with his line that comes with all of the heart and not much skill. Probert and McCarty and Avasov, they had a terrific game 2 nights ago. Why not start with a line that can establish something physically?
Dallas Drake trying to dump it in the middle. Could not. Both teams changing it up on the fly. Right wing side intended for Gill. Knocked away. Nicely out of the zone. Mark Howe. Howe, who's been out, is back in the lineup for the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Zazzle tipped it ahead. There is Howe. Howe working with Konstantinov. Out of the lineup tonight, Aaron Ward, who played in their last game at home against St. Louis. They lost. Centering pass. Drake couldn't get it in. Drake, Yzerman, Cicerelli are working on this line. Steve Yzerman. Yzerman drops it. Drake, Cicerelli setting up in front of the net. The Detroit Red Wings were locked in their hotel today with their head coach. He wants a lot more than what he's seen so far. Scotty Bowman made him watch the St. Louis game twice. Said, if I have to look at it, so do you guys. It wasn't a pretty sight.
Gary, so far through 2 shifts, he is getting more than he got from them 2 nights ago. For one thing, Dino Cicerelli just did a nice cross-corner dump in. They spoke about doing that against St. Louis and never did it at all. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you try to carry it through the neutral zone all game long, they will choke you to death.
Haven't got a chance. This team last year second in the league in defense, giving up only 2.87 per game, with Felix Potvin in net, the #1 goaltender in many defensive categories, and he's in there again tonight. Touched up for the icing call. Terry Gregson, our referee. Brad Lazarowicz and Pierre Champoux are the linesmen. There's the kid, Bill.
Gosh, this is his first NHL start. His NHL experience consists of 2 half games in training camp. That's it. He played half a game against Pittsburgh, half a game against Montreal. And since the backup tonight, Vincent Riendo, has demanded a trade, they had to call Osgood up from the minors. And there was no doubt about who was going to be the #1 guy for Toronto this season. Felix Potvin got himself a $4 million 3-year deal over the summer.
There's the first save for Chris Osgood, the 20-year-old rookie, as he knocked it away off the blocker. That will slow the heart rate down a little bit. And Scotty Bowman, obviously, is going to keep an eye on the youngster tonight. Petering has been sent down. He started the last game. He's gone down for the so-called conditioning. 2-week stint.
But Scotty Bowman's got some situations to deal with. Namely, Riendo has asked to be traded. Sean Burr has asked to be traded. And guess what? Anybody that knows Scotty Bowman knows the players will not win that battle with Scotty Bowman. They may end up getting traded, but they won't play in Detroit.
You saw the rookie right there have a real tough time with an easy shot. Bounced off his glove. Kennedy's got it. Drops it in the middle. Kennedy working with Fedorov at center and Primo on the wing. Potvin up near side. Knocked down by Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski's centering pass. He got decked. I mean, he got decked, and a penalty coming up. Sheldon Kennedy, as Osgood knocks that one away. There's the whistle. A charging call coming up. Detroit's come out, as Bill said, with a whole lot more zip and much more physical. And Kennedy just charged into Krushelnyski and decked him.
You have to know that this is the kind of penalty that Scotty Bowman won't mind. It shows that a guy like Kennedy, who can really crash and bang, even though he's smaller than Krushelnyski, is really tuned into the game plan. And that is, let's at least do the things we're capable of. If we're out of sync, if it's chaotic on the ice, heck, you don't need a game plan to hit, do you?
Just play hard.
Play hard.
That's what he wants. So the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 4-0 record. They've beaten Dallas, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Washington. Will get the power play chance. They've gone 4-4-20 on the power play. The Detroit Red Wings have struggled shorthanded. They have given up 7 in 27 chances for the opposition, 20th in the league early on this season. Gilmore gets it down low. Score! Gill! Todd Gill from the right point. Nobody picked him up. Power play goal. A 1-0 lead for the Leafs.
The big problem for the Red Wings on this play is that it happened right off the faceoff. Nobody has a chance to get to their man right off the draw. The puck ended up on Doug Gilmore's stick. Just 95 assists last year. You know he's going to find an open man. The top guy on the penalty-killing box didn't even have a chance to establish position on Todd Gill's side, and he just drifted in and ripped one by young Chris Osgood.
Third on the season, picked up by Gill, the point man on that power play, and they are up 1-0. What a tough start for the kid in net for Detroit. Now he's got to bounce back with the goal being scored on just the third shot taken against them, but it is a power play goal.
And how bad would it have to get for Osgood to get pulled and Vincent Riendo to go in?
Bad.
Real bad.
Real bad, because Scotty does not want to play Riendo. He considers him poison right now in this team, and they just want to get ready.
So what Osgood knows is it could get bad, and he might still have to stay in.
Ooh, out of the net. Probert tried to tip it in. Felix Potvin got caught behind his own net. Potvin centered. The shot deflected. Avazov could not get it on goal. McCarty on the far side. Avazov's got it back for Probert. Probert had been picked up by Gill in front, taken off the play. Konstantinov holds it in, intercepted by Gill, who had the goal. He gets it out for Osborne. Osborne had it dumped in off Cullen's stick into the corner. Hit put on there by Pearson. Tried to free it up. Pearson working behind the net with Cullen, but they couldn't control it. And Detroit, 4 minutes into this game, down 1-0. They are still, well, they have now one shot on goal. Picked up by Gill, 2:54. Gilmore and Borshevsky on the power play goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is the way the Leafs respond to the early physical play of the Detroit Red Wings. Jamie McCown on the touch-up. That will be an icing call. Great to have you with us, ESPN's National Hockey Night from Toronto.
Well, there sits Vincent Riendo. He is backing up young Chris Osgood tonight. Riendo was number 2 behind Tim Chevrolet last year. Was 13-4-2. But when he had a chance to play, when Chevrolet was injured, Scotty Bowman went with Peter Ing. Then Vincent Riendo said, I want out of here.
And they're trying to accomplish that. But according to their GM, Brian Murray, I talked with him before the game. Krushelnyski save Osgood. Krushelnyski trying to bat it back in front. Couldn't, had it knocked away. Brian Murray told me, I have had 16 teams call on Sean Burr. I have had none call on Riendo. Into the corner. It's going to be a 2-line pass. 1-0 Toronto leaving. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks. Buffalo, slow developing 2-on-1 for the New York Rangers. Mark Messier finds Adam Graves. He beats Grant Fuhr. Not a power play goal, a short-handed goal. Rangers a 1-0 lead. Back to Toronto.
Rangers at Buffalo. They're the leaders. The great one is still on top. Those are updated as a result of that goal. Second, Mark Messier and Leach are 3 and 4. And Leach is off to a flying start for the Rangers. He had that winning goal the other night on their 6th power play goal night.
And so is Wayne Gretzky. A big difference in Wayne Gretzky's game this season. He apparently is shooting the puck a lot more. I haven't had a chance to watch him, but Wayne Gretzky is shooting far more than he has in the past, and it was Wayne Gretzky that said 100% of the shots you don't take don't go in.
See, he does know this game. Osgood clips it around to the far side corner. Played over there by Dallas Drake. Drake trying to get it out of his own end. Could not. Drake's got to come back to get it. Drake pushing it near side. Wendell Clark is not in the game tonight. Had played in the previous 4. Clark has got a bad knee. Sean Anderson of the Washington Capitals fell on it in a pileup the other night. Clark tried to skate, did skate, but could not play tonight.
Well, we've talked every time we see Doug Gilmour about how he's so small but tries to play big. Steve Chase on number 3, you see he doesn't have a stick. He didn't have a choice there but just to try to pin Doug Gilmour against the boards, but try to avoid holding him to avoid the penalty. Gilmour is 165 pounds soaking wet, and Steve Chason's over 200 pounds, but of all of the small guys, I think Doug Gilmour and Theo Fleury in the NHL play big for little men.
He leads them in scoring without having picked up a goal. He now has 9 assists on the year as he picked one up on that first power play goal. 834 points now in 779 games.
By the way, he cheats on the weight chart. They publish 172 pounds. He does not weigh 170 pounds.
They just wet him down a little bit. Nicholas Lidstrom's got it, makes the turn at center. Lidstrom for Detroit sends it in. 14:30 left to go first period. 1-0, Leafs on top. Coffey was able to hold it in along the board. Sent a little deeper by Greg Johnson, the rookie centerman. Johnson coming over to get it, does. Johnson trying to dump it in front for Sheldon Kennedy. Kennedy, Johnson, and Primo are on the line for the Detroit Red Wings. Cleared out of the zone by Ellett, the veteran defenseman. Bill Berg held it in momentarily. Coffey, he got wrapped by Hook on the far side. Ken Baumgartner got him into the middle. Shot Kennedy and a save made. Felix Potvin He had Sheldon Kennedy right in the net with him that time as Kennedy was getting pushed in, and Potvin held his ground and got it in the glove.
Got a chance now to go back and look at the goal that the Maple Leafs scored. Watch both red sweaters come right out to the top of the left-hand part of the zone. You see, now they're scrambling to get back. So Steve Chason, number 3, and number 23, Greg Johnson, both went to the same guy, number 4, Dave Ellett. And that's one of the big reasons Todd Gill was allowed to sneak in there and pick up Doug Gilmore's pass.
He's from Peace River, Alberta, 20 years old. 1 year of American Hockey League action for Chris Osgood, that goaltender. That was last year, and then he started there this season and called up, and here he is getting his opportunity at the National Hockey League level. He was 3-1 in 4 games this year at Adirondack. 1-0 lead. Toronto on top. This is a back-to-back series. They'll play again tomorrow night in Detroit. Those tend to be interesting weekends. Played by Mark Howe. Howe with Probert up with him. Probert was helping to pick in front as Rob Pearson had moved in. 13:45 left here in the first. Howe sends it into the zone. Potvin could not get it. Probert let it go by to Howe. Howe joins the play. Tipped by Probert. Not on net. Rebound. Shot. Saved. And held on to by Potvin. And that's the kind of play Felix Potvin gave this club last season as Darren McCarty, the rookie, had a rebound scoring chance with Potvin down, but he couldn't get it over him.
He's so good in close. I think Micah Avisov, number 27, had a good chance at it as well. But here's McCarty trying to run a pick, and he misses the pick on Cullen, but smartly turns and goes to the net. Bob Rouse, number 3, tried to pull him back, but there's 27, Avisov, with the rebound. Look at Potvin tucked back in his net. So much speculation about whether or not Felix Potvin would have to change his style because young goalies typically rely on their reflexes. The experts say you can only do that for so long without coming out and cutting down the angle. Pat Burns this morning said, hey, guess what? As long as he stops the puck, I don't care if he's back in his net. We'll let that happen in time.
We win. He does whatever he wants.
Right.
First in goals against last year and second in save percentage at 9-1-0. He won 25 games. Felix Potvin third for the Calder Cup last season in his rookie year. Glenn Anderson, the veteran, and Howe. There are some years right there, boy. 2 great veterans. One a defenseman and one the forward. Red Wings will bring it up ice, trying to get it tied. Fedorov would have been a 2-line passer. He held it. Anderson played the man, and that freed up the puck. Gill's got it. Drops it near side for Ellett. Dave Ellett brings it in the zone. Cartner there with him. Cartner takes him out. Howe around for Fedorov. Fedorov just let it go up the boards. Kozlov, Vyacheslav Kozlov, got it out to center. Detroit had real trouble at center ice in their last game against St. Louis. Bill and I did that game in Detroit. They just could not move through center ice with any authority and lost the puck continually and never got the offense going. Konstantinov was able to hold it in. Detroit putting the offensive pressure on here, down 1-0. Konstantinov, Krushelnyski took it away that time from Kozlov. Fedorov's got it. Fedorov looking in front. Pass was deflected by Gill into the corner. Gill tied up. Comes back. Konstantinov just kicks it back into the middle. Nobody can get a stick on it here. Rolls to the corner. Krushelnyski over to get it, and he'll clear the zone just to take the heat off. Sergei Fedorov. Fedorov centering this line. Toronto trying to get the line change done. Potvin drops it off for Dave Ellett. 10th season in the National Hockey League for Ellett to Gilmore. Gilmore moving in. Changing up. Borshevsky goes to the net. Turnaround shot. Borshevsky never got it off. He had 3 red jerseys on him. Dino Cicerelli. Cicerelli flips it ahead to center. Then he got dumped after he got rid of it. Near side, Jamie McCown. McCown in the middle of Borshevsky. Borshevsky with Cicerelli trailing. Gets in. Chase on there. Borshevsky with Anderchuk. Anderchuk tied up from behind. Good play by Dallas Drake. Played by Anderchuk. Anderchuk tough on the puck. Chase on right with him. Gives him a shove, and that frees the puck all the way down to Felix Potvin. Shots are 5-4 in favor of Detroit, but Toronto, on their 3rd shot, picked up the power play goal from Todd Gill. They have the 1-0 lead. Nicholas Lidstrom tried to draw it back, couldn't. Sylvain Lefebvre drops it off into a 2-on-2. Gilmore with Anderchuk. Gilmore, the spinorama, cleared out of the zone. Jamie McCown knocked down there by Yzerman. Steve Yzerman did the 360, but McCown took him out of the play. This is Dallas Drake. They're going to clear the zone, so he sends it in. Toronto completing the line change. McCown in the corner. Sylvain Lefebvre again. Lefebvre avoids the check, got it out. Coffey tipped it, but couldn't control. And Toronto completes the line change, so Gilmore sends it.
Boy, the Detroit Red Wings are really using such a different game plan. Look out.
Score! Bob Rouse! Detroit failing to clear up the middle. 2-0 Leafs.
Well, just when I want to pay them a compliment, they make their second mistake. Really, they've only made 2 mistakes, and both have cost them. Here is the dump in. You see Dave Andrechuk going to the front. Well, look at both number 5 and number 77. Paul Coffey drifted back in with Andrechuk. Meanwhile, Bob Rouse was getting by his guy, number 24, Bob Probert, and nobody picked him up. The Red Wings, once the play went in deep, you have to look around immediately once you know you've got one-on-one coverage in deep and say, who's my man? Coffey didn't do it. Bob Probert was obviously watching the play, and Bob Rouse, not a big goal scorer, just slipped in between both of them and scored. But that's only the second mistake they made. But that's the way it's been for Detroit.
2-0, and Detroit's down. Centered, comes all the way back to the point. Turn around, Terry Cartner. Potvin, where is it? It went behind him and was tipped away by Dmitry Mironov. Mironov found it behind the net after Potvin turned around and was able to clear it out of the crease. Osborne sends it across ice. Rouse, who has scored 3 goals in each of the last 2 years, gets his first of the season. And it is a 2-0 lead for Toronto. Goal coming at 9:08. Berg and Gilmore. 2-on-1 save on Pearson's shot. Held on to by Chris Osgood, who's going. Holy cow. What a beautiful barn this is. It opened on November 12, 1931. The Maple Leafs lost to Chicago 2-1. Innumerable hockey games have been played here at Maple Leaf Gardens since then. World Championship fights. The Queen's been here. They've had conventions here. I mean, this barn's full of great stories.
The Beatles,
the
whole works.
Filled it up here.
You know, Gary, the statistics come and go, and we look at them now and again. Very few statistics take me by surprise, but when I realized that this is Toronto's best start, going 4-0 since 1944, I was blown away.
49 years?
Well, that's incredible. You'd think a team could go in that time, win 4 games straight at the start of the season. This is a long schedule.
Not exactly a hockey slug city. Sheldon Kennedy in the corner. Kennedy trying to back it up. Had it knocked down by Gill, who's done everything in this game. Primo in front of the net. Tried to get it to him. It was deflected to the boards. Primo was set up in front to get a whistle. That was hit with a high stick. Pretty obvious. About 4 miles over his head on that one. 2-0 lead. Toronto leading. 9:38 left in the first.
Well, Chris Osgood's had a tough start. He may have even been screened on the goal that's given the Leafs a 2-0 lead. Look at Lidstrom in front of him when the shot came. Oh, boy. Well, technically he wasn't screened when the shot came, but he had about 0.02 seconds to adjust to it. Lidstrom was taken by surprise by the turnover as well. Hey, Gary, you know, I said that's the way it's gone for Detroit. When you're in a slump and you're playing poorly, you can come with a physical game, you can get smart and dump it in. But until you get out of your slump, it seems that every mistake ends up in your net.
And you press a little harder, and another mistake goes in the net, and that's where Detroit is right now. It'll be played by the Leafs in their own zone. Up on the forecheck, Greg Johnson, the rookie. 1 man in on the forecheck. Nikolai Borshevsky had it, lost it. Johnson got it back. Johnson moving in. Johnson with Kennedy and Primo. Greg Johnson shot deflects, and that will end up in the seats. I want to remind you, ESPN's National Hockey Night coming up on Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. It will be a rematch of last year's division finals, and what a series it was. Pittsburgh 3-3 on the season against the New York Islanders, who had to open up with a 16-day road trip, a 1-3 record. The reason the trip was so long, they started on the West Coast, so they finished their exhibition season out west. 16 days on the road were they.
And I got to make it home tonight.
Dave Dudley.
There's Pat Burns.
62.
Yeah, can you imagine what NFL coach Pat Burns really likes, considering that Pat Burns is kind of a free spirit? It's Jerry Glanville. He wanted the Falcons to win so badly last night, and they did, to finally get Glanville his first win. Pat Burns watched Glanville this summer, and he said, you know what? Glanville's got a Harley-Davidson, and I used to be a biker. I'm going to go and get one, too. He biked all over Ontario this summer with a Harley-Davidson.
Shot by Konstantinov. Dino Cicerelli trying to center. Yzerman was out in front, knocked away from Fedorov to the corner. The defenseman again moving up for Detroit. He wants them doing that to join the play to help out here. Shot from the point deflected. Never got close on Steve Chason. Had Borshevsky breaking. Played by Chris Osgood to the corner. The rookie goaltender, his first National Hockey League game. There you see Detroit struggling at center to get that puck up ice. Jamie McCown knocked away Yzerman. Fedorov with him, but he couldn't get around Sylvain Lefebvre. Nice play by Lefebvre. Lefebvre, the defenseman who'd been with the Montreal Canadiens and played there for Burns. And once he was available, Burns picked him up and brought him here. Back the other way, offside. Fedorov moving in, but Cicerelli had come in on the right. 2-0 Toronto, Steve.
Hey, Gary, in Buffalo, Rangers already up 2-0. Want to see a great individual effort. Check out Mike Gartner with a number of moves. Gartner finally turns it into a breakaway by himself, beats the goaltender. Get this, another shorthanded goal. That's 2. Rangers up 3-0 back to Toronto.
Man, on the way to that cup?
Yeah. According to you, they are. You know, Gary, we talked about how bad it's going for the Detroit Red Wings. They just went offside on a 3-on-1. It's things like that that are a surefire sign that they are, in fact, out of sync, as Dino Ciccarelli said after their game the other night, and as Steve Chason said, they're chaotic on the ice. You just can't afford to go offside on 3-on-1s.
Talking with Dino Ciccarelli this afternoon, he said, I know what Scotty Bowman's doing. We've got all new systems, and even during the game, we're changing up on things. Bowman wants to try all kinds of different things early on this year to see what works and who can make them work. Said, I understand that, but boy, it is tough on us as players because it just feels so helpless sometimes when we don't make it go. That's what's been happening to them so far. Centering pass intended for Probert, who was set up in front again. Moving up with Mark Howe, the defenseman, down low. Stepping up Cartner to keep it in. Boy, we may see in this game some breakouts. That came across the line. He knew it, so he had to come back. But those defensemen pinching for Detroit, and there's pretty good speed for Toronto. You see some odd man rushes in Toronto's favor. Potvin holds it up, shot 6-6, score 2-0. The Leafs have the lead at center. Cartner tipped it. Cullen's got it. John Cullen moving it in. Cullen, Cartner all over him, centered it. Osborne trying to turn around to get the shot off. Pearson in front of the net. Osgood reached out, though, knocked it away. It'll be played by Probert. Probert just dumped at the center. Both teams change it up on the fly as McCarty sends it in. Shreveport, Louisiana. John Cullen wanted me to make sure. Carol and Jerry, the new in-laws. He got married this year. Shreveport's hot on the National Hockey League because that's where the in-laws are. So hi from John. Cleared back off the boards to center. Toronto just getting some folks out on the iceberg, trying to dump it in, but it ended up going into the seats. Toronto leading here by a score of 2-0. These two teams with back-to-back games this weekend. Detroit 1-3. Welcome back, everybody. Great to have you with us here on ESPN's National Hockey Night. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and the fourth oldest rivalry in games played. Montreal-Toronto's 1, Boston-Montreal's 2, Chicago-Detroit 3rd, and then these two teams, Detroit and Toronto, the 4th oldest in National Hockey League history. Shot on, save made again as it goes behind the net. Ciccarelli with Yzerman in front, could not get it back to him. Detroit with a couple of good chances. That's the second one. Down the strike, the opportunity, and Potvin denied him. Dumped off to Gilmore, back to Anderchuk. Anderchuk, he got stripped as he had 3 Red Wings in front of him. Ciccarelli did not clear it out of the zone. Still not out of the zone. Borchevsky trying to hold it in, could not. Still free as Yzerman got it out. Nikolai Borchevsky takes it away. And Borchevsky, the 28-year-old, sends it in. Borchevsky only in his 2nd season, but he did not qualify as a rookie last year because 27 years old. He was over that age limit that's been imposed. He spent 9 years in the Soviet Elite League. Sylvain Lefebvre knocks it away from Drake. Drake thought about the headlock, then stayed off it. Well, the puck was just freed up behind the net. Ciccarelli's got it, tried to drop it back, came right back to him. Detroit down 2-0. Drake behind the net, moving around. Lefebvre took him down. Gilmore clears it up, hit with a high stick by Borchevsky. They wave it all off, and Toronto will clear it out to center ice. Near side, Konstantinov's got it. 5:58 left here in the first. Dave Anderchuk, Mr. Power Play, sends it in. Steve Chason goes back to get it. 2-0 lead. Toronto on top. One of them a power play goal, and one at equal strength. Elliott will touch it up to the icing.
Well, I sure hope the Detroit Red Wings have taken their patience pills, because against the Toronto Maple Leafs, you are not going to get many odd man rushes. Scotty Bowman knows that, so he's going to have to work hard for any scoring chance. The Toronto Maple Leafs will line up in the neutral zone, force you to dump it in, try to get by-in, force a turnover deep in the zone. The Detroit Red Wings last year were so terrific. They led the NHL in offense, led the NHL in power play goals, set a club record 103 points. Where did it all go is the big question everybody is asking.
Yeah, well, you played this game. How much does imposing new systems have an impact on the game?
It's difficult at times simply because in training camp you don't have much chance to coach. You're too busy playing games.
And he's still doing that here. Played around by Coffey. Anderson over to get it, to hold it in. Glenn Anderson. Anderson sends it in front. Tipped wide of the net by Krushelewski. Heat put on. Again in front. Anderson cutting through. Could not get a stick on it. as the defense collapsing to help that rookie goaltender Osgood that time.
You know, Gary, the other thing, too, is that Scotty Bowman's an old-school communicator. He's not big on one-on-one situations with his young players, and very often players have to wait and get to know him just by watching him and being around him, as opposed to him sitting down and explaining himself to them.
Felix Potvin makes the save, and Gill shoots it right back in on him to hang on to it. Micah Avazov came in on the left wing side. I thought Gill took a pretty good whack at that puck, putting it back in his own goaltender, Felix Potvin.
Gosh, and you know, Todd Gill was one of the most improved players in the NHL last year because he really stopped making the big mistakes and the big turnovers. Everybody's covered here. Look at Gill. He's standing alone in front, perhaps a little too far. Yeah, Todd Gill was in front, but really he would have been better served to move out and take somebody, but he was in a tough spot. You saw one Red Wing behind the net and another guy out in front, but the biggest change in Todd Gill's game last year was that he stopped making the great big mistake that led to the goal. I mean, I'm talking about the big cough-up near the end of a game that cost a game.
Toronto with a 2-0 lead. That's right the way they like it. They are not a team designed to come from behind, even though they've got stars like Anderchuk and Gilmore offensively. Pat Burns loves to play, to get a lead, and then look for mistakes kind of game. Detroit trying to get one. Potvin denies. Rebound shot went wide of the net. Shot on by McCarty. Knocked down. Rebound loose in front. Nobody has it. McCarty tipped it away to the corner. Probert and McCarty and Avazov all had chances on that chip. Cullen brings it in. Cullen working with Osborne, trying to get it to him in front. Cullen, Osborne, and Rob Pearson are out there for Toronto. McCarty's got it. McCarty brings it up ice. Toronto always back. Bill said you'll see very few odd man rushes the other way. Avazov tried to take it away, but lost it. It was deflected by Miron off the center. Detroit gets it back. They clear the zone.
You know, Gary, that's the way Pat Burns coaches. It's tough to get the players to play that way, always back against certain teams that you really don't respect. Against the Detroit Red Wings, the Leafs shouldn't have that problem. Even though they're going bad, Pat Burns told me this morning, he said, you give the Detroit Red Wings odd man rushes, and you die.
Well, they have not done that yet, and they've got a 2-0 lead with 4:13 left in the first. Gill and Rouse have the goals for Toronto. They've got 2-0 lead. Our Budweiser scoreboard, other games of the National Hockey League going on that we'll keep you updated on as we roll along tonight. Rangers, the early lead, still have it. Washington, what a struggle. They have not won yet. They are in trouble. The other games going on in the NHL. Greg Johnson for the Red Wings. Pinned up in the corner by Gill. Sheldon Kennedy dropped it off behind the net. Primo trying to set up in front. Defense joining in. Lidstrom to Primo. Primo couldn't handle it. Aerial pass that went between the legs. Lidstrom, the defenseman. Ellett takes the shot, and a whistle as Dave Ellett got hit in the face with a stick. And Terry Gregson was standing right there and saw it, and the Red Wings will be shorthanded.
Gosh, did he get hit when he was down or when he was still up, Gary?
I think when he was down, but I'm not sure, Bill.
Things may go from bad to worse. Oh, no, he got it when he was up.
He did.
It almost looked like he was holding Lidstrom's stick, though.
Detroit penalty number 5.
One more look at it.
Lidstrom, 2 minutes for high sticking.
Well, he tried to grab it, but he didn't have a hold of it, so that's a legit call. Gary, you talked about the Detroit Red Wings on the penalty kill. There's Dave Ellett. Underrated player, Dave Ellett, with one of the best shots from the point in the NHL. You talked about the power play, or the penalty killing for the Red Wings. They allowed 7 power play goals against coming into tonight's game, 1 against tonight. That really doesn't tell the story. 6 of those 8 power play goals they have allowed have been 5-on-3 situations. Scotty Bowman says he's never seen anything like it. They have faced a total, according to Scotty Bowman, of 8 5-on-3 situations already, and this is game 5 for the Detroit Red Wings.
8 out of 28 chances for the opposition. Boy, that's tough to battle. Lidstrom high sticking at 16:09. Power play opportunity, the second one. Toronto scored on the first. Detroit shorthanded. Do not clear as Gilmore knocked it down. Ellett holds it in. Ellett. Gilmore tried to let it go. It hit the glass, comes right back to him. His centering pass is intercepted, still not out. Ellett holds it in. Detroit not clearing. Borshevsky, Dave Anderchuk. Gilmore was on the far side. Gill, who has the other power play, go back to Ellett. Ellett drops it. Borshevsky tried to tip. Anderchuk to help out. Played near side to Ellett. Ellett and Gill along the line. Gill waiting. Ellett. Borshevsky. Detroit had to keep this unit out. Tried to get it across. Shot by Anderchuk. Save Osgood. Gilmore gets hit hard against the boards. He's all right, but Sheldon Kennedy got him right in his shoulders.
You know, I'm very surprised at Detroit's penalty killing. You'd think because they've been scored on a number of times, they'd be a little more passive. They are chasing everywhere. Very often, coaches divide the ice surface in the defensive zone into quadrants, and they say, don't go out of your quadrant. You can be aggressive within your quadrant. Konstantinov was in 3 different quadrants in about 10 seconds. He was all over the place.
He didn't study that quadrant.
No.
Soviet Union.
No understand quadrant. Okay.
Cleared out by Dallas Drake. 25 seconds left on this power play chance for the Leafs. Back to get it. Dmitry Mironov is home. Moscow, 28 years old. Near side for Cullen. Second power play unit, so-called, for the Leafs. Cleared out by Drake. 2 minutes left in the first period and 8 on the power play. Pearson, who's off to a great start, winding it up. Anderson's got it. Anderson moves in. 2 seconds on the power play. Pearson, the center shot. Cullen had the opportunity and didn't get it on the stick. What a chance. Penalty's over. Glenn Anderson in front of the net. Fedorov without a stick, trying to take the man out of the play and did. Fedorov kicks it away to Howe. Howe along the boards. Glenn Anderson again knocked it away to Cullen. Cullen leaves it for Anderson. We're even strength now. And it's finally tipped out of the zone by Lidstrom, who came out of the penalty box. Both teams change it on the fly. Toronto trying to catch him in it. Rouse sends it in. Minute 20 left to go here in the first. Shots 11-6 in favor of Detroit. Maple Leafs have not had a shot for a long time here in this first period, but they've got the lead. Potvin holds it up. Sylvain Lefebvre. Lefebvre in the corner getting pinched. Needed help and got it. Tipped out. Konstantinov had moved in. Chason comes over to get it for Detroit. Chason near side for Shepard. 1 minute left to go in the period. Fedorov through the legs. Would have been offside, so not played by Kozlov. Straight back to Peter Zezel. Zezel for Berg. Berg taken down by Fedorov. Good back-checking job by Sergei Fedorov. Shepard behind the play, a collision and a good one. Fedorov and Baumgartner in the corner, but they skated away. Baumgartner left alone. The shot saved by Osgood. Time remaining in the period, down to 31 seconds. Eisenman avoids the check, dropped it off to Coffey. Coffey and Shepard. Shepard to the net. Shot partially fanned on by Kozlov. Rebound deflected into the corner by Lidstrom on the point shot. Berg's got it. Still time. Toronto trying to make one more line change here, so Berg just ships it into the corner. We'll be taking you back to our studios to update you on the other games and highlights coming. Steve Levy, Jim Schoenfeld, break in. Drake! He was offside!
He doesn't think so.
Boy, is he mad. He thought he'd held the line.
It was close. Real close. And he came off the bench too, Gary. That's why he got in behind everybody. Toughest guys to cover are the ones that sort of come out of nowhere, and really the bench is nowhere. He wanted one, and boy, did Scotty Bowman want one. 6.9 seconds to go. We'll take a look at it. Here's the long lead pass from Dino Ciccarelli. Yeah, well, we didn't get much of a look at it there, but I'll tell you, the linesman that called it was right on the line. See? Oh, baby, that looked like it was maybe legit. Say what, Scotty?
Boy, Drake he banged the stick on the ice. He's lucky he didn't get that two that's called so quickly for disputing a call this year.
What calls to make, boy, when the puck is traveling that fast and the player's moving just as fast.
4 seconds left to go here in the period. Stick on the ice here. Krushelnyski had it taken away by Dino Ciccarelli, who pulled it right out of his hands. So Toronto on a power play goal and an even strength goal. Gill from Gilmore and Borshevsky. Rose from Berg and Gilmore. 2-0 Leafs. Steve.
Gary, thanks. Coming up in this intermission, we'll talk about the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres as well. Special teams playing a big part of that game at the Aud in Buffalo. Highlights of that and much more coming up on the intermission. This is ESPN's National Hockey Night. Now, welcome back, everyone, to the National Hockey Night, ESPN's coverage of the NHL. The game you are enjoying after one period of play, Toronto leading Detroit at home, Maple Leaf Gardens, by a score of 2-0. The Leafs are up. Elsewhere, the New York Rangers are in Buffalo taking on the Sabres. Rangers power play has been great. 10 power play goals the last 2 games. So how would they fare at the Aud in Buffalo? Slow developing 2-on-1. Mark Messier to Adam Graves. That's not power play, folks. That's shorthanded. 1-0 in favor of the Rangers. Then Phil Bourque, great headman pass to Sergei Nemchinov, cuts in, beats Grant Fuhr on the backhand. That an even strength marker. Rangers with a 2-0 lead. So with New York up 2-0, where's the power play? Not here. Mike Gardner beats Brad May. Great individual effort. Turns this one into a break, really. Another shorthanded goal. Gave the Rangers a 3-0 lead. Pat LaFontaine scored for Buffalo. Darren Turcotte later added another goal for the Rangers. So your score is now the Rangers 4 and the Sabres 1. They are still in the first period. Jim Schoenfeld, Al Morganti joined me as well. And Jim, as far as the Rangers are concerned, we saw the power play earlier last couple of games. We're seeing shorthanded play tonight, completely outworking Buffalo.
Yeah, in every area of the rink. I mean, they're out hustling the team, they're out hitting them, they're beating them to every loose puck. Keenan wanted his Chargers to finish checks, and they're finishing them in a big way tonight. You see this hit here by Alexander Karpovtsev right there on Derek Plant, shoulder and then the forearm for extra measure. Here's Leach. He doesn't do this often. That's Brad May. He's a big, tough guy. Leach hurt him with that hit as his head was rammed into the board, and Messier comes in with a little extra touch. The Rangers are dominating the Sabres. Now it's starting to get a little ugly. There have been a lot of penalties, so this is a game to watch. It could get messy as the Sabres get frustrated as the Rangers are dominating tonight.
All right, Jim. 2 other games around the NHL, including one that is already underway. Philadelphia and Washington, they are scoreless in the first period. Also coming up a little bit later tonight, Boston will be in Anaheim. There is suspension news as far as the National Hockey League acting quickly as far as suspensions. Vancouver's Dixon Ward suspended 3 games, fined $500 for his cross-check on Gary Roberts of Calgary. And I say quickly because the NHL has already suspended Chris Chelios for an incident last night at Chicago Stadium. Now, Chelios had already had an altercation of his own, wrestled away from the linesman to take a shot at Adam Burt, who was going with Brian Newton. Chelios, 8 penalties, 51 minutes in all. He has been suspended for how long, we're not sure. The terms to be revealed after the league's investigation. Brian Burke already getting to work under Gary Bettman. Now, when we come back, we'll take a look at a developing topic that has become a problem in the National Hockey League. That is hitting after the whistle, especially after goals. Score of our game. Maple Leafs up over the Red Wings 2-0 after 1 period of play. We'll be right back on National Hockey Night. Welcome back, everyone, to National Hockey Night. Bob Rouse, that score right there after 1 period of play in our game. Toronto leading Detroit by a score of 2-0. Earlier, I mentioned a disturbing trend in the National Hockey League, and that is hitting after the whistle. The hit that everyone remembers, of course, last season, the playoffs, Capitals against the Islanders, Game 6 at Nassau Coliseum. Dale Hunter nails Pierre Turgeon after that playoff goal. As Turgeon celebrating and joining the crowd, Hunter comes out of no place to take the cheap shot at him. Of course, he has been suspended 21 games. And, of course, as you know, Pierre Turgeon went on to return only in Game 7 and certainly was not himself. Jim Schoenfeld, Al Morganti join us, and this is a disturbing trend. I think that's the one that everyone remembers. That sort of started that. There have been some other incidents in this young season already.
Well, the league was trying to send a message with a very stiff penalty to Dale Hunter, but the message does not seem to be getting through. After goals, after whistles, there are hits when players are not expecting it, and if the league doesn't crack down, you're going to have some injuries. Hartford's Robert Cron gets nailed by Kevin Haller after a goal. Here comes Haller. Haller received a cross-checking penalty, 2 minutes. Could have been worse. Philadelphia's Josef Veranek is decked by Gord Donnelly after goal. There's no penalty called right there as Donnelly cross-checks him in the face. And the action goes on after that. Pittsburgh's Rick Tocchet will go after Florida's Brian Benning after this goal. Keep an eye on Tocchet. And Benning is down, Benning is out. Tocchet did get a double minor, and Benning is out with a shoulder injury. Now, I think the league has to step in, make it an automatic penalty. Anytime there is contact, intentional contact, after a whistle, you get rid of all this nonsense. That's going to be devastating to the team. If they have a goal scored against them, then they're going to have to go ahead and kill another minor penalty. It could put them in a real hole, Al.
I'll talk about being put in a hole. Maybe they have not done anything this season, but last year, when Dale Hunter was suspended, it might cost Washington a playoff spot here. 0-5-0. Don Beaupre goals, 7.55 goals against average. When he starts flopping, if it's wet under him, he might drown because he's down forever. They're in serious trouble at 0-5-0. I talked to David Poyle yesterday. Not one player playing up to potential, he says, and he thought getting a guy like Dave Poulin would help. He says, yeah, certainly would think so. Has not been the case. Washington, this early in the year, big game tonight with Philadelphia.
Okay, you think about it. I mean, here's the NHL rulebook right here. They could certainly add another page, you know, because players, when they hear the whistle, they let up. Obviously not expecting contact in football. You hear the whistle, no more contact. They should add another page to this rulebook. Guys, as we continue on, This is National Hockey Night. Detroit and Toronto going at it, and after one period of play, the Maple Leafs leading the Red Wings 2-0. We will see on Tuesday night. See the guy in the right corner there. That's Pierre Turgeon, the man who suffered the brunt from the Dale Hunter hit. He's back in the lineup. Kevin Stevens back as well for Pittsburgh. That's National Hockey Night for Tuesday night. We'll be right back. The game you are enjoying after one period of play, 20 minutes complete. Toronto leads Detroit by a score of 2-0. Hey, folks, check out ESPN2 on Monday night.